Spotlight. Testing audio, 1, 2, 4.
Okay, let's see. How's things over on the west side, my friend?
Oh, pretty good. A little snowy, but it's kind of
Yeah,
melting fast, you
Should
know?
be disappearing quickly.
pretty nice out there.
It's crazy.
It's beautiful. I don't know.
You guys are live.
All right. This is a board meeting or a meeting of the weed board of Custer County. And I've graciously said that I will be the chairman still. Our last, do we have any members? Doesn't look like it, does it?
I'm gonna try to get zoomed in so I can see
All right.
who's here. and who's not
Perfect.
here.
See who's on. It's January 20th, 2021, 1:03. Have a roll call. Yes, I guess it's Roger.
Roger Gray, here I am.
Roger Squire present. Tim Krejci will be my replacement when I give Silvercliff up.
Okay. We didn't really have a whole lot of response. I think you responded about serving on the weed board. And Clint Smith, but he's having surgery today.
All right.
Or, I'm sorry, he's having his stitches taken out today. So he said he would not be able to be on. Let me look here.
Well, he would still be on, but he just can't make the
Yeah, he'll continue to serve.
Perfect.
He just couldn't be here today.
perfect good deal.
And I think
Here comes Glenn.
considered Guinevere as kind of an ex officio member, didn't we?
Yes.
And then Charles Bryant's on. And
Cool.
Carl Young. Can you hear us all right, Charles? I better join the audio here. I might. Charles, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. How have you all been?
Good, sir. How are you?
Oh, good. I apologize. I couldn't be in person today.
Hey, that's all right. You're live on wire line, however that works.
And Carl Young, I know he's not, does he have video capability or no?
My video capability doesn't really work that well,
Okay.
so I'm just audio for today.
Okay, you want to introduce yourself? Tell us what capacity you're in?
I apologize. I should have done that.
Sure, I'm Carl Young, Wickfield County Administrator. Charles asked me to be on just to get an idea of how you guys run things and to learn more about your operation, so we can be better partners.
Good.
Great, marvelous. That's what we want to hear. This has been Charles, or not Charles, but Carl. This has been a great connection that we undertook going on our third year now, Tom, with Orfano County. And that's been a godsend for us as far as that's concerned. We've not been able to afford to hire a weed manager. So this worked really well. Tom and I went down and met with the commissioners at that time, and they were very receptive of the situation. So it's really worked well, and I appreciate that. And Charles, you can send that on to the board members now.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I thank you for that. It's been a pleasure working with you all so far. And this last season was pretty difficult with all the circumstances being, but appreciate the patience that y'all had with me. I sure wish I could have done more public outreach up there this year. But our seasonal was able to exceed the lane miles in our agreement at least. And I'm about wrapped up with getting all of the mapping data into the state portal. So I'll be able to get a total acreage for as far as infested acres that we treated, and then observed acres too.
Great, appreciate that. And from my part, it's been a pleasure working with you, Charles. Looking forward to that continuing and getting some more calls, talk to you more frequent than it has been because of this COVID mess. Anywho. All right, so I think that was pretty much a report from Charles. Do you have anything else on that, Charles?
Just looking forward to hopefully some of the restrictions will be lessening up this year, and at least now that we have somewhat of a better understanding, we could maybe do some more public outreach events. Like I think our weed walk, like we did in 2019, might be good. And if I've been speaking with some of the other members in the upper arc group, and if we're still concerned about social distancing, they had a pretty good idea as far as basically establishing an area where we're going to do our weed walk, but posting signs similar to like how you'd find in a wildlife refuge, you know, describing certain areas if we have to go that route. Yeah, I'm open to any ideas, and wanted to get input from the board and see what your plans might be moving forward.
Yeah, I was looking at a bunch of our notes from the last weed tour that we had, and I think that's a great deal. I think it came out well, and I think we'll shoot for another one this year again, if possible. I'm not sure just exactly where we're at on this COVID thing, if we're going to be able to pull that off, but we'll certainly shoot for it if we can, I believe.
All right.
Let's see.
Do we think June is still a viable time to do that? I think we talked last time about maybe being either earlier or a little later. I can't remember exactly.
My note said that we thought we would try to get a little earlier, which would have put us back in May then, or the first part of June, rather than, I believe our last one was around the 15th. It was fairly late in June. So I wouldn't mind trying to get that latter part. Let's call it maybe the last weekend of May-ish.
For the weed walk? Sure.
We're going to do that on a weekend.
I think so. Yeah, because
Participation.
I think we will, and we'll look at everybody else's calendars so that we don't interfere with someone else. That may give us, afford us the opportunity to have a few more participants.
I would guess that last weekend in May is probably going to be graduation, but maybe the weekend of the 22nd.
What do you think our growth spurt would be at that particular point in time, Charles? Would we just start? We would just start seeing new growth, right? Or would we? Maybe
Yeah. So if we go with late May, some of the more high priority species there in the county, like hoary cress and leafy spurge, should be peaking pretty good. But our others like Canada thistle, we might have some growth. Kind of depends on, you know, if we get any decent late May cold snaps or snows, things like that. But yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag with them. Because I know last time we were, if I remember right, we were just getting past the peak on the white top when we did our weed walk. It was starting to yellow out on us.
So you think 23rd, that 22nd of May, or should we wait till like first Saturday in June?
That first Saturday in June might be good. Probably have quite a few more things emerged by then.
June 5th.
That's my birthday.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
We'll have a little birthday weed tour.
We'll have a partay.
Yeah.
We'll do some weed touring.
Whoa.
We'll know what to get you for your birthday, right? Some weeds.
I was thinking beer.
Oh, we digress as per usual.
Can we tentatively set June 5th?
I might not be there.
You might not be there.
Yeah,
Well, let's not then.
Okay.
I'd rather have you be there.
it would be nice to have a present.
The following week, the 12th, the 12th. Are we getting too late to get in the calendar? Charles, what do you think?
Yeah, when we get to the 12th, we'll have conditions probably similar to like we had the year before, as far as
Yeah.
growth stage of things.
So last Saturday in May or the 12th?
I'm open to whichever you guys like.
Let's try that last Saturday in May, maybe get those
Yeah.
fresher plans, huh?
Well, and it gives us an opportunity to reschedule if we must.
True. Yeah, you could always cancel your birthday. What's so special about a birthday?
I'm turning the big 4-0, you know?
No way.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
hell.
I gotta do something.
Well, it's been a day or two since we've seen that. Roger.
Yeah, I can't.
And Tom.
I don't even know what state I live in.
I know what state I'm in. Corn fusion.
So a tentative date of May 25th.
Saturday, May 29th.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong. My
Saturday, May
calendar flipped
29th.
over. 29th.
Yes.
Alrighty.
We can at least start with that. If we gotta make some changes, we can, but it'll be on us before we know it.
Yeah, it will be.
And I thought the school bus thing worked out pretty well, so maybe we'll follow up with the school and try to get a bus, huh?
Be good.
I was thinking about that this morning. Even if we budgeted to tip that bus driver $100 or something, it'd probably be
Yeah.
worth it.
I thought it worked out well.
If we have 20, 25 people, we'd be glad we had a bus instead of taking vehicles all over.
And then do we want to do that similar how we did last time, have a meeting to kind of run down the weed law and some of the basics, and then plan identification, and then no, last time we had done equipment calibration. Do we want to do a different topic or stick with that?
I think we need to meet before we leave on the tour to give everybody some quick background
Yeah,
info, don't you?
yeah, that's definitely a deal. What did we do? We did 11 o'clock meeting, if I remember correctly. And then from there, we did the tour. Is that correct?
We did
Yeah,
some,
we might have started earlier.
we did some like, when you say the meeting, it was Charles,
Education.
some education.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And did we eat lunch
Yeah, it was.
before the win, or did we
Yeah.
come back and eat
No,
lunch?
we ate before we left.
yeah, we did.
So meet at 11, eat at 12, and we tour at 12:30 or something
Quarter
like
to
that.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the educational component of that, and that's what kind of strengthens our budget request when we go. I wonder about something on either weed identification or maybe show people how to press some weeds, although most people aren't gonna need to have a need to press and have weed mounts, so.
No, I think, I noticed somewhere we had our, what do you call that thing that you guys put together that, dang it, it's in my notes here somewhere. Oh, yeah, the
Not the Riker mount.
yeah, Riker
Oh,
mounts.
okay, yeah.
See, that would be kind of neat, and I think with Charles there to help identify and everybody else, just we'll set them up and have Charles go, okay,
Yeah, we could do that.
this is a way to, and then we'll have our little handouts again, if those are available. Then that way people can kind of go back to their note or their little booklet and see just exactly how they start, what they look like when they start flowering or when they pop up or come start new growth and then get into the stages of growth.
Yeah, and I think I had an evaluation sheet. I don't remember how I collected this, but they really, Charles, they enjoyed your presentation on chemical usage and kind of all of those things that probably people didn't know before your presentation. So I think that would be a worthwhile thing as well to continue.
I agree, they did. Yeah, we got great compliments from the people on your presentation, so that's cool.
I think we can finish up the weed tour itself by 2:00.
I sure think we can give it a shot. We'll try.
I had figured we'd meet in the courtroom at 11 for the educational piece. eat at noon, and then start the tour at 12:30 and finish by 2 p.m.
Perfect.
Is that reasonable?
That's a great schedule. Yeah, that's exactly.
And if we don't
what I-
finish at exactly 2, it's probably not the end of the world. But
And I gotta apologize, guys. I'm actually looking at your Riker mounts that I filled for you over a year ago that I was gonna bring up today, but we'll have those ready to go for the presentation. I got most of our high priority species, and then some that are probably likely to step over Huerfano County.
I know the ag program's got a lot of plants in Riker Mounts, but they're not all, priority species necessarily either. They're just general weeds.
I was curious if you guys felt this, not weed tour, but it's kind of educationally related. Do you think if we're giving out not giving, but reimbursing for 100% of the herbicide, that was what we did last year. Do you think it makes sense for us to host some sort of private applicator training so that we know people are accurately applying it on their land? I don't know if the conservation district does that,
Yeah, I
but
don't need that. It would probably be a good effort, and then maybe make
Would
that a
be.
requirement to get that funding for cost share. We'll cost share, but you've got to attend an hour-and-a-half presentation or whatever.
that way,
I think that is very worthwhile doing that.
Well, and that's something that if Guinevere would like to work with us on, I could get with our other partners in the Upper Ark, like Kayla Malone and then Brittany Pierce, the Fremont County lead advisor. And we've actually held those chemical applicator workshops for CDOT down in La Junta. And we have quite a bit of material all ready to go. And we could kind of tailor that to more, personal use rather than the industrial right away. Something.
that would be awesome, Charles. I'd totally work with you on that.
Cool. Let me see. I'll shoot you a link for the next Upper Ark meeting, so you can get in on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And meet everybody in the group. I think they'd really enjoy having you there. So.
Thanks.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, that'd be great for her as well as me again.
Do you think it would be reasonable to make that mandatory to attend that training if we're going to cost share?
I think it would be a good idea just because, the herbicide label can be pretty confusing, if you're not versed in the language on it. And then especially just a simple calibration crash course really goes a long way. A lot of people don't understand, application rate, and they just want to know how much you put in a tank when it really depends on how much you're putting down. So
Right.
Would we need to do that before the growing season then?
I would think we would, wouldn't you, Charles, try to get that in?
yeah, it would be ideal. When do you normally start getting your applications in for your cost share?
I think it was beginning June, because they just bring the purchase receipt, and then we ask for some information, but basically, is it approved? Is it a restricted use? All those kinds of things kind of look at, and then we just reimburse 100% of the herbicide purchase.
An exception to that may be, sorry, Charles, didn't mean to interrupt. I know the Riggs Ranch did a cost share program, but they hired Jeremiah to apply their weeds, so that wouldn't be a mandatory thing for him to attend,
No.
obviously.
Because he
Somebody
has-
that's never done it, maybe first timers or something.
Yeah, because he has to maintain some pretty
Yeah.
beefy qualifications, but yeah, and for that, we had 50% cost share for paying for Jeremiah or whatever, per the old rules, so I'm happy to rewrite those, but if you want.
Somewhere I saw that.
Yeah. But I think that would go a long way in making sure people are using herbicide the right way, because
Yeah.
herbicide resistance is a real thing, so.
So maybe shoot for April sometime if conditions allow, or
Yes.
I guess we can figure out format it in a virtual setting. play it by ear.
Great minds think alike, apparently. That was my first one, was April.
So I'm gonna put a note here to check in with Charles how about the 2nd of April? So I don't think it's an April Fool's joke. About this. How long do you think it takes to put together one of those trainings?
For folks that are just going to be using it around the ranch and homestead, I think 2 hours would probably be good. People's eyes kind of start to glaze over after you go through too much of that. Hopefully we can keep their attention. I think 2 hours we could hit most of the points that we need to, and then it'll also go a long way in helping them select the right herbicide for whatever they might be targeting to. A lot of people just throw Roundup or 2,4-D at things. Maybe help be a little bit more efficient and actually save some money if they're using the right product.
As quick as we get that put together, Charles, let's try to have at least a week advance so that we can get it into both papers up here, get it on our website, get it out to the media. Then that way we'll get everybody covered as far as maybe bringing more people in.
Yes, sir.
All righty. As soon as we hear from Gwen, hopefully that'll fit around one of our meetings. That's something we'll talk about, meeting stuff here pretty soon, but I'd sure like to put that around one of our meetings so we can go ahead and firm that up, get that information to media.
Thinking about it, the only hitch that I might have with some of our partners in the Upper Arc group is more restrictive, travel restrictions that they might have in their specific organization. I'm not sure the situation is there in Fremont as far as the government goes and travel, but
I don't necessarily feel like if they can only attend via Zoom, that means that we have to do it all on Zoom. Maybe they just Zoom into that portion of the meeting. I know it's not the best option, but it's kind of what we have to work around.
definitely.
Righty. What else do we have? Charles, have you received a copy of the budget?
No, sir, I haven't.
Okay. We'll try to get that out to you so that you can see it as well.
It's pretty straightforward. There's one figure on the entire budget page.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. So we requested, I think 19,500 this year. And our old attorney, by golly. And we got 10,000.
Is that?
So that's what we've got to work with. I was just checking here real quick. I know I'm bouncing around a little bit to try to figure out how often we were supposed to meet. I couldn't remember if it was monthly or not. Get in here, you little rascal.
There's nothing really hard and fast in the state.
No, there isn't, is there?
But it seemed like when we first really got going, it almost seemed like every month, but I know you guys were also in the middle of developing.
Yeah.
Didn't we shoot for like monthly till maybe that meeting before our weed tour, and then we reconvened? It was either September or October. We took like June, July, August off, is the way I kind of remembered us trying to do that. Whether we got it done or not, I don't remember for sure. Imagine that.
Yeah, I just don't see in the bylaws exactly how many meetings we're supposed to have. I know Roger and I got to looking, we met one time in 2020.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and that's just the way that whole mess is.
yeah.
Let's see, I've got it here somewhere.
I sure don't see it, but
Bylaws. Statutory duties.
we probably, oh yeah, it's in there. I thought we missed on the 40 acre requirement, but it's in the bylaws.
Yeah. And is that something that 40 acres is hard and fast state reg, right?
Right, it's the majority of the membership.
Or,
So, and I think it said the minimum the board shall consist of 10 members. And then they list out the area. So we probably need to work on that too.
I don't know why I have it in the back of my mind that it was a 40 acre minimum. And I'd love to see us be able to drop that. If it's hard and fast, then so
That's
be
a
it.
state requirement, yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
We're supposed to have a representative from Wetmore, West Cliff, Silver Cliff, San Isabel, and other parts of Custer County.
Yeah.
So we don't have anybody from that San Isabel area either.
We don't.
Never have since.
No. Since I've been a part of it, we never have.
Would you like for me to maybe write something up and drop it in your local papers, just kind of describing what the weed board does and the function it has in the county? You think that might help generate any interest?
Yeah, it sure could.
Charles, that would be great. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I could just bang out a couple of paragraphs. So.
Marvelous.
The bylaws refer to at-large members, and the majority of the board is to be made up of landowners of 40 acres or more. So that would be 6 of the 10 members would have to be landowners of 40 acres.
And that's Wet Mountain Tribune and the Sentinel, right?
That's correct.
Yes. Post on.
And you can send that to editor@wetmountaintribune.com.
Okay.
And then I think the Sentinel is
SDC. What is that for address?
I'm not sure about the email address for George Gramlich.
Right, you can look that up.
I can get it for you. Give me just a second. George dot Gramlich, GRAMLICH @gmail.com.
Ready?
And I think if you wanted to just entitle that public service announcement, we should get it in there at no charge.
Yes, sir.
Charles Clint Smith, county attorney and a member of the board, is also in attendance. Like a lot of things, he's late, but we'd rather have him late than none at all. We're gonna have show and tell. He can show us that he got his stitches taken out of his thumb today.
Oh, golly.
Let's see.
And that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
That's from 2 years ago when Jim ran over.
God, I didn't even know that one.
That's funny. Okay. Can we talk about that contract?
Yes, yeah. Do we need to reconvene with your people, Charles, on that contract, or are they good to go again?
the impression that I've gotten, we're willing to move forward. We're still facing a lot of issues with the water system, but Carl, did you want to add anything to that? Or
Yeah, I'd say that we're good to continue. We do have things we have to sort out, but I think we can still maintain this contract and figure out our issues at the same time.
Okay, do we need to update that contract dates and amounts and all that? And who should do that?
If you guys want to send us a draft or Charles send it into our board, we can either have a meeting or if there's no substantive changes, we can just approve it.
Okay. So
I'll
we'll
get
do
the
it from our
IGA that
end.
we have in place over to you, Carl.
Okay. I don't see any changes on our end that I can think of, but I'll talk to you, Charles, and confirm that.
And as far as the rate structure that we've been going with, in my opinion, it's been working out pretty good for us, and especially now that we have a experienced seasonal technician that's grant funded, it really helps us keep the cost reasonable for you guys, and then helps us out too. So I don't see any adjustments moving forward. I haven't really reviewed herbicide prices too much. Like, I'm fixing to make some big purchases, but I don't think there's been any drastic changes.
Great. So the only reason I'm asking all these questions, I'm trying to take some minutes here too. So Charles, you'll send us a draft revised contract?
Sure.
Is that, do I understand that right? Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, I don't think very many modifications aside from dates and maybe a few names on the IGA. I'll let my board review it, and then I'll shoot over what we have as far as the it was an addendum to the IGA as far as the rate structure and how we charge and everything. But yeah, I'll get a fresh copy of that over in case you see any changes or.
Great. And then if you want to send that, we have a new administrative assistant too, Charles. Her name is Tina. You can send that stuff to boccadmin@custercountygov.com, or you can send it to me or Roger or whatever, and then we'll get it. We got to get it in front of the commissioners once we approve it as a board, or once you guys approve it as a board, because it is an MOU that needs to be signed. It'll have to go to the commissioners.
Yes, sir. I'll work with my board and try to get you something over here within the next couple of weeks.
Sweet. Your seated commissioners now are John, who else?
Erica Andrietta and Gerald Cisneros. Gerald Cisneros is our new chair. And,
oh, he is. Okay, cool. So Gerald stayed on. You got two new ones, huh?
Yeah, John's pretty familiar with the county, and then Erica seems like she's going to really do well for the county. She's younger. She's our first female Huerfano County commissioner, and seems to be hitting the ground running and is real enthusiastic about moving things forward here in the county. So I'm looking forward to being.
Who's her husband? Who's she married to? Do you know?
Chad Andrietta.
First name?
Chad.
Chad?
Yep.
Okay. I know those Andriettas down there, but I couldn't sort them out by name. So.
Yeah, I couldn't.
That's how I get confused between all the chats.
And so, you know, we have a newly seated commissioner ourselves, Kevin Day, out of Wetmore.
Okay.
He lives in Wetmore proper. So he was our assistant road and bridge supervisor down there for 30 years.
20-something, 30,
Yeah.
close.
So he retired from that and got into politics.
Nobody ever accused him of having any smarts.
No. Well, good. That'll help with that contract thing. I don't remember what that contract was that you sent me here a couple months ago to get a check written. Charles, do you have a rough figure right off the top of your head?
Yeah. it was sorry, I'm
Okay.
getting lost in all my windows here. I think you guys paid out 6,500 and some change. And
Okay.
sorry, I'm trying to get that in front of me here. I did get confirmation from our finance office that we did receive payment on that.
Yeah, I signed the voucher, but I couldn't tell you exactly what it was, so. And so we're up, are we current then with you guys as far as you know?
Yeah, we're square. How I've been doing it is just billing you at the end of the season. And yeah, 6,520.
Okay. So if we roughly budgeted 6,000 for this year, then that leaves us 4,000 operating budget to do the rest of our stuff.
This amount was slightly less since we didn't have any public outreach activities, so I'd maybe keep a little buffer in there to cover any additional
Right.
projects like that we might have.
We sure as hell can't be spending our whole budget supporting work for no county, by God.
Yeah, sure we can.
I'm sure Carl will want a big slice of that pie too, you know, just for being on this call. Yeah, if we hold back, I mean, if we just budget 3,500 or $4,000, we should be okay, huh?
As far as
As far as having 6,000 to cover the contract.
yeah, for the contract, I'm just pulling up my.
I mean, we don't have to carve it in stone. We just need a general idea.
Yeah, I'd say let's go with 7,000
Okay.
just to be safe, because that's pretty close to what's in the agreement, and then we can kind of work with some of the education and outreach component.
Okay. I don't think anybody on this end is too worried about us getting cheated on the deal. You've treated us pretty well.
No, it's been great.
I appreciate the opportunity to work up there, and it's sure nice to have a group of people like you have there in the county that really passionate about addressing the problem and not just turning a blind eye. I sure appreciate it, and having that support from the top two really helps. So thank you.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Well, that'll give us an idea of what we're going to have to work with, basically $3,000. So we should get our weed tour and whatever put together with that. Pay the secretary, of course. Oh, wait, we don't have a secretary. Okay.
Roger's over here making pretty decent notes.
Right.
Right.
How do you know that have anything to do with the weed board?
Well, I guesstimated.
Good. Anything else, Charles, you think we're overlooking?
Not that I can think of at this point. I guess just the one question I had, since I wasn't really able to make it up there to have quite as much interaction with the public as I did year past. What were the main concerns that you're hearing from folks up there this year, as far as species or just places need to be addressed or possibly?
Yeah.
It's been real quiet on mine.
Everybody's worried about other things. You know, I communicated with you about that concern for that bindweed over on the Pines Road by the Ulay Cemetery last summer or whenever, but obviously I don't know that that's a high priority weed, unfortunately. But you know, other than that, I haven't heard anything. I mean, I just think everybody's had their head down.
I had a few people come in and ask for reimbursement for their stuff for the cost share program, but no weeds in particular that they were concerned about.
Great.
You know, I wonder too about jumping over the map there a little bit when we get into that weed tour, if we can carve out 10 minutes to talk about ed maps too, so people know we're trying to document what we've done and what's going on. I don't think many people outside of the weed world would know about that.
Sure. Hopefully I could get my computer to work this time. I had some problems.
We did make a
But,
stab at that last year,
Yes,
didn't we?
we did.
I forgot about that.
It's kind of nice now that we have quite a bit of data plugged in that EdMap system. They have different search query tools to where I can pull up acreage by species that we have documented, show densities, things like that. There's some really neat features that I'd like to share, and then it's kind of hard getting people on board, but with that EdMap system, that's something that they can download as an app on their phone and basically be citizen reporters for any species that they find. And it really works out well rather than somebody having to play phone tag. When they enter that into the system, it goes to the state for verification, and then I get an alert that a new species is documented in whatever regions that I'm overseeing. So really could work out good if we could get some folks on board with it.
Hey, Charles, EdMaps, does that have two Ds in it? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's EDDMAPS. Then it'll be EdMaps West because there's a East Coast version.
Oh, okay. We don't care about East Coast, do we?
No, that's Western. Got to stay Western.
Unless East means Wetmore, but other than that, we don't care. We don't care about Missouri, do we?
Hey now.
Our new admin assistant's from Missouri, so I had.
Wham.
Right there, you know. I didn't put it on here, Roger, but I wonder if we have a little conversation about our equipment that Mr. Rogers dealt with, and I got a couple questions about all that, but
Okay.
our equipment inventory, I guess, would be the best way to go about that.
Okay.
Charles, did you see that spray rig after we refitted it with boomless?
I believe I did. Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
So you know what we're talking about. I couldn't remember, Roger, how many gallons that tank was.
150.
150, okay. And you got it at your place?
No, it's
No,
across the street here.
it's right over here. Yeah, it's over here in the garage.
Okay,
Everything we have is in the garage right now.
all right.
Even that the 3-point hitch is the one you redid, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, and it's all over there, Tom.
Okay, I couldn't remember. I know we talked about trying to move it, but
No, we got her in
Did
there.
very many people rent that last year?
no.
I
think it was
don't believe anybody did, right?
I think I'm the only one that ever used it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gene Bedon talked about using it again, but then his world went in the toilet when he,
But I used it at his
but
place.
you used it at his place. And then my other thing about, the reason I wanted to ask about that, hitch spray unit, was the PTO and the tractor requirement tied to that. Roger, do you remember? Right on.
I think you pretty much have to have, the PTO has to be able to do 1,000 RPM.
Okay.
That's the big problem. I was trying to run it at 640 and it wouldn't work. And then I happened to notice that it says, hey, you ought to run it at 1,000, and then it worked great.
It does that.
And is that a different spline on the drive?
Not on mine. I think some are, some aren't.
Okay. So somebody should be able to use it the way it's set up right now.
Yeah.
1,000 PTO.
It's just got that course, I was 16 splines or whatever.
Something, yeah. Okay. And then we've got a backpack sprayer
Yes, we do.
and slide-in unit, probably, is that 75 gallons?
Yeah, I believe it is.
I don't think it's.
Yeah, it just goes in the back like a 4x4 side by side.
Yeah, Charles, on another question, somebody did ask me about this the other day, come to think of it, and that is about eradicating yucca.
Yeah.
Is there a good spray that is plants specific to yucca or not?
Yeah, there's some broadleaf herbicides that you can use. I'm kind of hesitant to give you any recommendations off the top of my head since it's a native species I don't treat too much, but let me shoot you an email.
Okay.
Yeah, you have some options that won't impact your grass
Okay.
on that. I off the top of my head, I can't really tell you the preferred herbicide for that.
Right, okay. Yeah, and I told him, I said, well, I can tell you as a weed board, we're probably not going to tell you to use this and use this much of it, but at least to say, hey, you look in this family of herbicides or whatever, why?
And then just, speaking off of the collateral damage sense, when I treat thistle, like with Milestone or that open site product that I use, that's aminopyrrolate and methylsulfuron, that really knocks down yucca, but I'm not sure if that would be his best option or not. If he has other species on his property like thistles, that might be a good all-around choice that he could address several problems with.
Okay, good. Yeah, and I suppose when we get to that point, we need to advertise that equipment again and try to get some interest in that. I'm just worried about somebody wanting to use that sprayer and not have the right tractor. I talked about that a little bit. Obviously, we don't have a tractor to put with it, but I guess we just have to spell that out.
That's something that either Roger or myself, if they come to Guinevere for the rental, she can give me the info or I can meet with them and go over that. So
yeah. And we had the agreements, right? We've got those in place, contract agreements for cleaning it. And
yeah, I think we had some, I'd have to dig a little bit.
Yeah.
We had some language about that.
yeah, we did. Gwen redid them for us, I believe, if I remember.
yeah, and we talked about
A deposit.
refundable deposit,
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, I know it's
we were just getting steam behind all that, and then got slapped again.
Well, we did too, but actually, I think we'll be in good shape again too, where we're basically starting anew. We've got everything in place we had, we missed several months, so I believe we'll be able to pick it right back up, I hope. Hopefully we can get some more interest from the public people to join the old group or the young group or the young old group.
It's mixed age.
Yeah.
Mixed age group.
Yeah.
There you go. I don't know where you fall in that, Tim.
Hopefully in the mix, right? You don't want to be in the old. I'm there and it's ugly.
I work with him,
Yeah.
more and more every day.
Thank you. I resemble that remark.
So I wonder if we ought to, I'm trying to pull up excuse me, trying to pull up my email string. I think we're going to have to talk about some members for this board.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly our attorney's on his last leg. Hell, he may not last for another month or two.
So that's why I brought her in. She's got 48.
Well, you know how we operate, right? Because our other admin assistant was on this board too.
Yes,
Because she had 40 acres.
she did.
I think Vince Cook is solid. I don't know what's going on. I never reached out to him about this meeting other than sending him.
I didn't think to do it either,
Sending him the
yeah.
email, but Paul Parsons, he wanted to be contacted about the meeting. You know, he's at Trails for All chairman.
Oh, yes.
Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
He came to one meeting. I've got him on the list, but not as a member. And then Guinevere, Dick Downey.
I talk to him sometimes and he's like, when's that weed board
Yeah.
coming around?
So perfect. He's still interested.
Yeah.
He likes being on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good enough.
It is good enough.
And then that Chuck Zier, do you remember that guy? He came to one meeting, I think with Paul Parsons, just as an interested citizen. He didn't want to be a member necessarily.
No.
And then Slick Willie down in Wetmore, Bill Donnelly, he was our Wetmore guy, but I don't think he's been in the meeting since we
He attended the last time we were meeting regularly. I believe I saw him twice.
Yeah.
In a
I may
full
lean on
season.
him a little bit, but, so really, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I know Linnea was on there for a minute
Mhm.
Yeah,
and she needed a break last year, but we might reach out to her again and
she sent me an email.
say no.
Would we want to consider Tim being on it, or what's your guys' status?
Sure. He doesn't have 40 acres, but
No, Vince does, Roger does, Downey does, Clint does. What about little
Absolutely.
Vicky back here?
Consider
She can go
yourself
home and
in.
tell her husband, hey, guess what, dude? I'm a member of the weed board.
Yeah,
Yeah,
This-
that'd be cool. She.
this is a very prestigious
Oh,
group here.
as you probably picked up already. She lives up in the Dilly Ranch.
Perfect.
Filing too, so that'd cover that
Marvelous.
chunk of the.
Great. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, we have to get a quorum put together and
Yep.
vote on those, but,
Let's bring that to our next meeting. And I like Charles's deal, getting a little blurb in the paper. And you might throw in there, welcome new memberships too, and a little blurb about the 40 acre, if you would, please, Charles.
Yes, sir. And then it was a group that I think Guinevere had connected me with in 2019. I had done a presentation for I think it was the High Altitude Gardening Club.
right,
Yes.
Shoot an email out to their board. That we're likely to find somebody on there.
Thank you, because yeah, I know dang good and well, I saw bouncing bed in their flower pots. I'm going, really?
no, oh, no.
Oh, man.
It'll probably switch to you by the time I get there, but. Hello. Hey.
All right. Let me think. Where we at there?
My God, I might have her arrested over that. Okay, that's fine. Office politics.
Don't you love it?
Yeah. Rob said, Phyllis threw a snowball at me.
Good.
I want her punished.
Tell the old great goddess of biatch, I'll throw a snowball at her. And she'll go, that's Squire. I can't say what she called me.
No, that's right. Some things can't be repeated, can they?
Oh, it could be.
Well, I'm like you, Charles. Now I got so many screens open, I can't remember what I was trying to do. I'm gonna add unofficially, is that all right? Just so we get them on the email.
Perfect. Tina and her husband. Notice I said Tina.
Yeah, I did notice that.
KRD.
JCI. KREJCI. That'll set you free. And a good.
Well, it hasn't him yet, but
Dude, what is my email at work? I know yours, but I don't know my.
he is PWSA.
No, PWA underscore
right.
CE.
Underscore
CE
CE
at silvercliffco.com.
Well, we threw a wrench in everything in our deal at the county when we did Custer County -co.gov. Oh my God, people just freaked out. PWA underscore CE at silvercliffco.com. Okay, we've got you. And then Miss Tina. What's a good email address, Tina?
VOCC.
Oh, you want to do that?
Way to go, girl.
Yeah.
Fooled him, didn't
You
you?
don't want to throw out that personal email, huh? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so we're still a couple short, but
Yeah,
that'll help us anyway.
and I think once
And
Charles
who's
gets,
gonna stall, you know?
yeah. No.
Yeah, maybe we'll get some input from Charles or that in the paper.
No.
So I will, you guys are added to that email stream, and that'd be great.
Is there anything else other than our next meeting? Are we gonna try to keep them around on the, like, what is this, the 3rd or 4th Wednesday? What area is this? Are we gonna try to keep them the same? I know that sometimes it just doesn't fit in your stuff, Tom, but
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I mean, we'll have some Wednesday BOCC meetings, but, let's see, March is the 3rd Wednesday.
February, March, and April, you have a BOCC.
Yeah. So it'd be better if we could get off on Wednesday. Tuesdays work pretty decent.
Tuesdays is great. I think that's what we had. I believe we were doing Tuesdays, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember.
Ron, you got work all right for you?
I think so. Pretty much any day works for me.
That's it.
1 o'clock still?
I like the 10 slot.
So,
How's that work for you, Charles? Tuesdays.
Oh, yeah, that'll be fine. Just give me a few days notice and
and I suspect for the foreseeable future, we'll stay on this hybrid Zoom live deal, which, you know, unless we got really something going on, should work good for you guys. You wouldn't have to drive up here every time we have a meeting, so.
yeah, and 69 headed to Gardner, had quite a bit of blowing snow this morning, so
So what Tuesday we gonna do? The 3rd?
Yeah,
3rd Tuesday or,
Do you guys meet every month?
pardon?
Do you meet every month?
Probably for the next few months.
we are going to, and until we get to the point that we get our tour done, then I think we'll probably take a 3-month break and jump back into it. But that's all up in the air. We'll see. We may even have one just after that so that we've got a review meeting of how our tour went.
Okay.
Then we could actually go in even to October from that time span, which would be May, June, July, August, September. Just about a 3-month span in there sometime. And if we ever need to make an emergency meeting, we can certainly call that.
So February the 16th,
Looks like.
and we'll keep you apprised, Charles.
alrighty. I'll get that into my calendar here.
And then March was just knock out 2 or 3, so we at least get them on the calendar.
March 16th?
March 16th, is that the Ides of March, or when is that? 17th, I don't know.
17th is a Wednesday of BOCC.
Yeah, that's right. We'll have a BOCC meeting on the 17th. That's St. Patrick's Day. And 1 o'clock works for you guys down there on your end? Charles?
Works for me. Yes, sir.
All right. And then what's April look like, kiddo?
April 13th is a Tuesday.
Okay.
Then would that put the 11th as our May one?
Yes, that's the second Tuesday. Is that what we were doing, the
I
second?
thought you were doing
Tuesday?
the 3rd
I did too.
Tuesday.
And 7th, that'd be the 18th of May. And then we're gonna,
Yeah.
Okay, then the 3rd Tuesday in April is the 20th.
Yeah.
or April, sorry, we jumped a month, didn't we? Then that would put us a meeting in May, before our weed tour, which is probably a good thing.
That's a great thing.
April the 18th, you said,
No, it's a Tuesday.
April 20th, there's my calendar open here.
Yeah, that'll work really well because we confirm everything up for our weed tour. Absolutely.
Order the sandwiches.
Order the sandwiches.
God forbid we do anything different this year. So then, third Tuesday is the 18th of May.
May? Yes.
Okay.
When is it in March? What did you say? Tom, I thought you said the 17th, but the actual third Tuesday is the 16th.
16th, yeah, we have a commission meeting on the 17th.
Okay.
How many stitches did it take out, boss?
All of them.
All of them?
Yeah. All four of them. All four of them.
Okay. Sweet.
All right, Charles, anything left from you?
No, sir. And just glad that I can be serving you guys for another year and look forward to seeing what we can do this coming season.
Absolutely. Glad to have you back aboard and we'll certainly be communicating more often. I will on my end anyway, Charles.
And Charles, you're still doing the Gardner Water District?
Yeah, we wound up having quite a few problems this last summer. One of our wells failed, so we wound up having to drill a new one, and then been jumping through some hoops trying to get that online, and then just a
How
lot
deep
of
did
other
your well have to go?
organic issues.
How deep was your new well?
Only 42 feet.
Oh, wow.
Jeez, oh,
Hell, you got off cheap.
really?
Yeah,
That was a blessing in disguise then.
looking at a pretty extensive sewer system upgrade too.
Yeah.
Things pretty much deteriorated. So
Wow.
Well,
Well,
that one there is gonna be the one that comes back to bite you pretty hard, I would imagine.
yeah,
so-
we've kind of been fortunate. There's only 68 taps in the district, and our flows are so low. If we were in a larger area, we'd have some major sanitary sewer overflows, but things get blocked up enough, we can just kind of get some percolation through the block, and
There you go.
lucky.
yeah, that's Round Mountain's gonna have to deal with their whole water treatment sewer system.
They're already double what they started on this from the get-go. It's huge.
I guess Levita, same thing, huh?
Yeah, they have a couple pretty big projects online, and then kind of seems like every small municipality's having growing pains, with the evolution of state regs and everything else, and especially a lot of these small southern Colorado towns. They kind of were able to fly under the radar for so long, and a lot of upgrades were never done over the years, and all that lack of maintenance is catching up to everybody now.
Exactly. I just had a thought here when I looked at I'll bet I'm in trouble. I think Sharon Berry is a member, and I don't think she's on my list.
I think you're right.
She is a member. Last time.
So you look on the minutes here, her name's on this,
Yes, it is. Matter of fact,
on the one from last.
in the ones from the last meeting. that we had.
Oh, from the last meeting, not the one I just said.
2 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, no kidding. God, that's why I'll bet you she's not.
that's exactly why.
Oh,
Because she likes being on it, so she'll certainly be back.
Let me clean that up then real quick before we get too much further.
Hang on.
Okay,
Hang on.
That's
because I
why.
didn't catch that.
See, my problem is when I go to send those emails out, I just click the weed board and it pastes it on there. It doesn't show me who. So I didn't even look. I could open it up and look, but, so yeah, we better get her ass back on. We're not missing anybody else, are we?
I'm trying to think. I was just.
If you want me to send out those meetings and agendas and things like that, I'm happy to. I just don't really want to do the minutes. So if somebody wants to do minutes, But I can be responsible for that. Is there public notice posting requirements?
No, this is just a board meeting. Well, I was gonna have this conversation after this
Oh,
meeting
sorry.
adjourned, but you know what? Somebody's gonna be paid to sit on this board if we meet during the weekdays.
Exactly.
So would you be willing to serve as a secretary? I think mostly write and type minutes, mail those out and post those.
Just to set up our agenda,
The agenda, send out
Oh, okay.
emails. Yeah, I can do
yeah.
it.
If you don't have a problem with that, great.
No, I don't. As long as I get voted in.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure you'll get voted. Secretary.
I'm pretty sure that's on the
Could be
agenda.
speaking out of turn, but I doubt it.
You got my vote.
Yeah, I will vote and I don't get a vote. Let me see, I gotta
Oh, yeah, I
pull
don't
up,
have a vote either.
I gotta pull up Sharon's email.
I
real
guess
quick.
I don't technically have one myself,
Unless there's
other
a
than I'm
tie.
the chair.
Yeah, unless there's a tie. I think.
Roger's the only one.
You got Roger's vote, I'm pretty sure.
If not, then guess who the secretary is? I know his wife pretty well. He goes home and tells her he's the secretary. That's where she go.
Right, she just
All
laughed.
right, so
Just laugh.
that being said, shall we move on? Shall we go ahead and, do we need a vote? We don't have to have a vote on anything, do we?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Let's get for sure election or appointment of new members on the next meeting.
Okay,
We can vote to recommend them to the commissioners and then they can deal with it.
perfect.
Probably the next day, if we remember to put them on the agenda. Week board appointments on the mid-February meeting.
Perfect.
agenda. So Sharon, how about a call? Let me add her real quick.
Thank you, Tina.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, unfortunately, old Freddie won't be coming by to pick Sharon up after any more.
No, we won't.
That
Hmm.
was a sad day.
That was.
I wonder how many people in this community had called Fred Berry grandpa at one time or another. I know my grandkids did. They loved him. Okay, ask Barry CCW. All right, she's on there now, so
Cool.
she won't be happy with me when she finds out we had a week board meeting.
Without-
Maybe
If I need to, I'll apologize myself too.
Why don't you?
All right,
You take,
done. I'll do that.
Tom asked me to invite you and I didn't. Just like it.
Just tell her that guy from Werfeno was drafting, the agenda. and
Yeah.
supposed to send notice out.
He sent out the
Yeah.
agenda.
Yeah.
We told him to make sure we invited you, but he didn't. Yeah, well, good. I don't think we got anything else, do you?
I don't either.
Okay. Anything else, Charles? You good?
No, sir. I appreciate you all taking the time today and look forward to meeting with y'all next month. And I'll get out word in the newspaper here and see what we can do. So,
Great.
Perfect. Thank you.
righty.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Then we'll adjourn this meeting of the Custer County Weed Board on the 20th at 2:10 p.m.